Alright, hey guys, Fiddle Ferret here, back for another manga series recommendation. So today, I just finished a series just the other day. It's a really short series, and I did a manga first take on it as well, and I really enjoyed it. But now I'm not really sure how I feel. So today we're just going to talk shortly about Let's Dance a Waltz. So, Volume 3 just came out the other day over here in America. So, the first volume of Let's Dance a Waltz, I talked about it in my first take video, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was one of those things where the characters, especially of Hime, were really compelling. She was cute. The art style wasn't as shoujo as sometimes these books are. It wasn't quite as, I say, messy sometimes when I talk about shoujo. There's so many poofs and just swirly lines that you kind of lose the characters in them. So I liked the art style quite a bit compared to other shoujo I've read. And I just thought it was an interesting story. I mean, basically you had 4 characters, tango, they were trying to get back into dancing, and you know, I liked the thought of having a main character that wasn't like this super tall, pretty, perfect character at the start, but she was a character that started off, you know, she was a little overweight, you know, she wore glasses, she wasn't comfortable with herself, and stuff like that. But over time, especially even by the end of the first volume, which surprised me because it was an awful fast pace, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, I liked that progression with Hime especially. And so, as the series goes on, for those of you who don't know, this is a series about a girl, like I said, who is kind of unpopular, but she goes to a dance studio and she meets Tango, who is a boy that used to be brilliant at dance, but then he quit after he had a problem with his partner. And so he never danced again, and he's got 2 friends that they want him to get back into dancing desperately, and they are also partnered together, and they both dance, and they are very, very good. So Hime, you find out, is like a natural dancer. She has to work very hard at it, but her and Tango work together very well. And so the story just kind of goes from there through Hime's transformation of coming out of her shell and blossoming into the princess, which is what her name translates into, that she can be, kind of deal. And so it's one of those things where there's a lot of character dynamic here, because you start getting that, you know, Hime likes Tango, and the other, what's her name? His other 2 friends, which is an old childhood friend of his and a girl. The other girl likes Tango, but the boy likes her, and so you've got this cluster fudge, and basically the only one you don't know who's feeling anything is Tango, because Tango never says anything. And so that's kind of how that was going. You knew how it was going to go. You're like, Hime's going to end up with Tango, blah blah. You don't really know how the other relationship's going to go, but that's kind of an interesting thing. So the series was going rather well, and I didn't realize it was only 3 volumes, which if I did, it would have set off a few alarm bells for me. The ending in the last volume is unbelievably rushed. It comes out of nowhere. The resolution seems completely empty to me. The resolution, there was no build-up. There was no suspense over what would happen. All of a sudden, it was like flick a light switch, we're gonna like figure this out now, and boom, this is how it ends. And the other problem I had with it, I didn't find the conclusion believable. With how it reconciles everyone's emotional state and everyone's feelings for one another, it seemed completely fabricated. It was almost like for the sake of everyone having a happy ending, let's make... And the phone's ringing, but I'm going to ignore it. Like I was saying, it just didn't feel right. I mean, it wasn't realistic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I didn't think how all the relationships ended up. I was like, how is that? That character never never hinted in the entire series that that is like a possibility for them, kind of deal, you know? And so I guess basically just my gripe with this series after I finished it is just that, I don't know, 2 more volumes or some, I mean just 3 volumes. You could do a series in 3 volumes, but you have to have it prepared, you have to know what you're doing. There was like 2 time skips in this series. One in the first volume and one like for the ending. And that really just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Now saying all that, it's not a terrible series. I still enjoyed it up until the very end. But it was one of those things where it just didn't seem like a great conclusion to me. I thought it could have been a lot better. But the thing about this series is the dance elements, if you liked dance or waltzing and you know, partner dancing, you'd probably really like this series. Especially with the subject matter it deals with as far as dancing. I found that really interesting. Because I thought that was interesting. I liked that element of it. It was different. And so, if you like romance stories, if you like shoujo just in general, and you're looking for, especially if you don't want to get your, you know, you don't want to dive into the series that's 20 volumes, 30 volumes long, this is a series for you. It's only 3 volumes, so it's not going to cost you much if you want to go ahead and buy it and read it like that. That's one aspect to look at it. So, and just closing, I could have thought the ending could have been better. It was so rushed at the end that it just kind of defaced what was really a good series, because the characters were the biggest part of the series, and I thought that the ending was a big discredit to the characters, which is what really made me feel like just it could have been better. So I guess for my recommendation for this series is I guess I'll leave it up to your discretion. It's a short series. I know that's almost not an answer, but let me explain. I would still buy it, but that's just me. I understand that the ending isn't great, but I still thought it was an interesting read, especially for only 3 volumes. It's not much of a leap. So this is published by Kodansha, guys. You can go and pick it up now. It's out complete, so even if you wait, maybe someday if the sales were good enough, you might get an omnibus, but depending on how the sales were for this series, I haven't kept up on that. There might never be one, so not a bad series to pick up, but I just really didn't think the ending did the series justice. But anyway, guys, I do some figure reviews, I do some manga first takes, I do some manga recommendations, and stuff like that. So a group of ferrets is called a business. So if you'd like to keep up on my content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the business today. Anyway, guys, I have been Fiddle Ferret, and I will see you back on the prowl next time. Bye-bye!